When did you realize? Like, at what point in time did you say, hey, this is not normal work? Like, this doesn't even seem like it's from this planet.
Welcome, curious minds, to our journey through the bizarre annals of science and invention. Today, we're counting down the top 10 weirdest creations from history that push the boundaries of human imagination. From quirky contraptions to peculiar experiments, you won't believe what made our list. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of strange science and inventions. First invention, the Antikythera mechanism. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the Antikythera mechanism. This ancient Greek marvel, dating back to around 100 BCE, the Antikythera mechanism is an ancient Greek hand-powered model of the solar system, described as the oldest known example of an analog computer used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance. The Antikythera mechanism was used to track the movements of the Sun, Moon, and 5 known planets. It could also predict eclipses and other astronomical events. The mechanism was likely used by astronomers, astrologers, and other scholars. The Antikythera mechanism is a remarkable feat of engineering and scientific knowledge. It is a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Greeks, and it continues to amaze and inspire scientists today. Second invention, the Baghdad battery. At number 9, we have the Baghdad battery. The Baghdad battery is the name given to a set of 3 artifacts which were found together in 1936 in Kujut Rabu, Iraq. The artifacts consist of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod. The jar is about 14 centimeters tall and has a narrow neck. The copper cylinder is about 5 centimeters long and fits snugly inside the jar. The iron rod passes through the copper cylinder and extends out of the top of the jar. The Baghdad battery was first investigated by Wilhelm Koenig, the then director of the National Museum of Iraq. Koenig hypothesized that the object functioned as a galvanic cell, possibly used for electroplating or some kind of electrotherapy. However, there is no electroplated object known from this period, and the claims are near universally rejected by archaeologists. Other possible explanations for the Baghdad battery include that it was a ritual object, a container for holy water, or a toy. However, the true purpose of the Baghdad battery remains a mystery. In recent years, scientists have conducted experiments to test the hypothesis that the Baghdad battery was a working battery. These experiments have shown that the battery can produce a small electric current when filled with an acidic liquid, such as vinegar or grape juice. Moreover, the current is very weak and would not be useful for most practical applications. The Baghdad battery is a fascinating object that raises many questions about the technological knowledge of the ancient world. It is possible that the battery was used for some unknown purpose, or that it was simply a curiosity. Whatever its true purpose, the Baghdad battery is a reminder of the ingenuity and creativity of the ancient peoples. There you have it, our top 10 weirdest science and inventions in history. From ancient mysteries to modern marvels, the world of invention is filled with surprises and peculiarities. Which one surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing explorations into the weird and wonderful. Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, keep embracing the weird and celebrating human ingenuity. Stay curious. Coming in at number 3 is dried guillotin's humane guillotine. Dr. Joseph Ignace Guillotin was a French physician and politician who was best known for his proposal to use a machine to carry out executions in a more humane manner. The machine, which became known as the guillotine, was a simple device consisting of a tall upright frame with a weighted blade suspended at the top. The condemned person was placed under the blade, and the blade was then released, dropping quickly to sever the head from the body. Guillotin did not invent the guillotine. The idea of a beheading machine had been around for centuries, and there were several similar devices in use in Europe at the time. However, Guillotin was the first to propose that such a machine be used as the standard method of execution in France. Guillotin argued that the guillotine was a more humane form of execution than the methods that were in use at the time, such as hanging, beheading with an axe, or breaking on the wheel. He claimed that the guillotine was more reliable and less painful, and that it would also be more egalitarian, as it would be used for all executions, regardless of the social status of the condemned person. The guillotine continued to be used as the standard method of execution in France until 1981, when it was abolished. It is still used in some other countries, such as China and Saudi Arabia. The guillotine is a controversial device. and there is no consensus on whether or not it is a humane form of execution. Some people argue that it is a quick and painless way to die, while others argue that it is a barbaric and cruel method of killing. Ultimately, the question of whether or not the guillotine is a humane form of execution is a matter of opinion. Ironically, it's now synonymous with beheadings. Fourth invention, the theremin. Number 4 on our list is the theremin, an eerie electronic musical instrument that you play without touching. The theremin is an electronic musical instrument that is played without physical contact. It was invented in 1920 by Leon Theremin, a Russian physicist and engineer. The theremin is named after its inventor. The theremin works by using 2 radio frequency oscillators. One oscillator operates at a fixed frequency, and the other oscillator's frequency is varied by the performer's hand. The performer controls the pitch of the sound by moving their hand closer to or farther away from a metal antenna. The volume of the sound is controlled by moving their hand closer to or farther away from a metal plate. The theremin is a unique and expressive instrument that has been used in a variety of genres, including classical music, jazz, and electronic music. It has been featured in many films and television shows, and it is often associated with science fiction and horror. Its spooky sound can be heard in countless sci-fi movies and even inspired the iconic Star Trek theme. Fifth invention, the Edison phonograph doll. At number 6, we have the Edison phonograph doll. The Edison phonograph doll was a children's toy doll developed by the Edison Phonograph Toy Manufacturing Company and introduced in 1890. The original doll was invented by Thomas Edison in 1877. The 22-inch doll featured a miniature removable phonograph that played a single nursery rhyme that terrified kids with its creepy voice. The doll was made of wood and had a ceramic head. The phonograph was located in the torso of the doll, and it could be played by cranking a handle on the back of the doll. The nursery rhyme that the phonograph played was "Mary Had a Little Lamb." The Edison phonograph doll was a commercial failure. It was expensive to produce, and the phonographs were not very durable. Only about 100 dolls were sold before the company went out of business. However, the Edison phonograph doll is a significant historical artifact. It is one of the first talking dolls ever produced, and it represents a major technological advancement. The doll also shows the early interest in using phonographs for entertainment purposes. The Edison phonograph doll is a rare and valuable collectible. Only a few dolls are known to exist today. One of these dolls is on display at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. It was a technological marvel ahead of its time. 6 inventions. The puckle gun. Halfway through our list, at number 6 is the puckle gun. The puckle gun was a repeating firearm invented by James Puckle, an English lawyer, in 1718. It was a tripod-mounted, single-barrel flintlock weapon fitted with a manually operated revolving cylinder. Puckle advertised its main application as an anti-boarding gun for use on ships. The puckle gun could fire up to 9 shots per minute, which was much faster than the muskets of the time. It was also more accurate, as the revolving cylinder allowed the user to fire each shot without having to reload the gun. The puckle gun was patented in 1718, but it was not a commercial success. It was expensive to produce, and it was difficult to maintain. The gun was also criticized for its design, which was considered to be too complex and unreliable. However, the puckle gun is considered to be an important early development in the history of repeating firearms. It was a bizarre combination of a machine gun and a revolver. 7th invention, the thalidomide tragedy. Number 7 brings us the thalidomide tragedy, a drug originally marketed as a remedy for morning sickness. The thalidomide tragedy was a medical disaster that occurred in the late 1950s and early 1960s. Thalidomide was a drug that was prescribed to pregnant women to treat morning sickness. However, it was later discovered that thalidomide caused severe birth defects in babies, including phocomelia, a condition in which the limbs are severely underdeveloped or missing. Thalidomide was introduced in Germany in 1957 and was quickly marketed worldwide. It was available over the counter in some countries. By 1961, it was estimated that over 10,000 babies had been born with birth defects caused by thalidomide. The thalidomide tragedy led to a number of changes in the way that drugs are tested and approved. In the United States, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, now requires that all new drugs be tested in pregnant animals before they can be approved for human use. The The FDA also requires that drug companies provide detailed information about the risks and benefits of their products. The thalidomide tragedy is a reminder of the importance of drug safety. It is also a reminder of the need for vigilance and transparency in the pharmaceutical industry. Tragically, it led to severe birth defects in thousands of babies and a profound change in drug regulation. 8th invention, the bat bomb. The bat bomb was a proposed biological weapon developed by the United States during World War II. The weapon was designed to be dropped from airplanes over Japanese cities, and it would release millions of bats that had been fitted with small incendiary devices. The bats would then fly into buildings and start fires. The bat bomb was the brainchild of aeronautical engineer Robert L. Denniston. Denniston was inspired by the fact that bats are known to roost in large numbers in caves and other dark places. He believed that if bats could be fitted with incendiary devices, they could be used to start fires in Japanese cities. The bat bomb was never used in combat. The project was abandoned in 1944 due to a number of problems, including the difficulty of fitting the bats with the incendiary devices and the high cost of the project. The bat bomb is a controversial weapon. Some people argue that it was a cruel and inhumane weapon, while others argue that it was a legitimate weapon of war. The bat bomb is also a reminder of the dark side of scientific research. Thankfully, this bizarre plan never saw action. 9th invention, the cloudbuster. Taking the 9th spot is Wilhelm Reich's cloudbuster. A cloudbuster is a device invented by Austrian psychoanalyst Wilhelm Reich, 1897 to 1957, which Reich claimed could produce rain by manipulating what he called orgone energy present in the atmosphere. The cloudbuster was intended to be used in a way similar to a lightning rod, focusing it on a location in the sky and grounding it in some material that was presumed to absorb orgone, such as a body of water, would draw the orgone energy out of the atmosphere, causing the formation of clouds and rain. Reich's claims about the cloudbuster were not supported by scientific evidence, and the device is not considered to be a legitimate scientific instrument. However, it has been used by some people as a form of alternative medicine or weather modification. The cloudbuster is a simple device that consists of a series of hollow metal pipes that are arranged in a pyramid shape. The pipes are connected to a water source, and the device is placed in the ground. When the device is turned on, the water flows through the pipes and creates a vortex that is said to draw orgone energy out of the atmosphere. Reich believed that orgone energy was a universal life force that was present in all living things. He also believed that orgone energy could be manipulated to produce physical effects, such as healing or weather modification. The cloudbuster was one of Reich's many inventions, which also included the orgone accumulator, a device that he claimed could collect and store orgone energy. Reich's work on orgone energy was controversial, and he was eventually imprisoned by the United States government for fraud. The cloudbuster is still used by some people today, but there is no scientific evidence to support its claims. It is considered to be a pseudoscience by most scientists.
10th invention, the isolator helmet. And finally, our top pick at number 1 is the isolator helmet. The isolator helmet was a helmet invented by Hugo Gernsback in 1925 to eliminate noise distractions. It was made of cork and covered in felt, with a baffle for breathing and glass eye holes that were painted black except for 2 thin bands. The isolator helmet was designed to help people focus and concentrate by rendering them deaf and limiting their vision to a tiny horizontal slit. Gernsback believed that the helmet would be useful for students, writers, and other people who needed to focus on their work. The isolator helmet was never commercially successful. It was expensive to make and difficult to wear, and it was not clear that it actually helped people focus. However, it remains a curious and unusual invention that reflects the fascination with technology and innovation in the early 20th century. It looks like something out of a sci-fi movie.
There you have it, our top 10 weirdest science and inventions in history. From ancient mysteries to modern marvels, the world of invention is filled with surprises and peculiarities. Which one surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing explorations into the weird and wonderful. Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, keep embracing the weird and celebrating human ingenuity. Stay curious.